Late round running backs for you to target right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. I'm Adam Azer with Jamie Eisenberg. Let's get right to it. Give me some of your favorite late round running backs. We'll say after pick 100.
I'll go a little deeper than that. I'll go with two rookies and a veteran that I think is in a good spot. So the two rookies would be Tyrone Tracy and Kamani Vidal. Tracy's in a backfield where the starter we know has been good in his NFL career, just not exactly a star in Devin Singletary. And we could see a situation where Tracy has a role in the passing game right away. Um, as someone that could supplement Singletary, and he's clearly raw. Didn't play running back his entire time in college. Showed some flashes in his final season, and certainly proved a lot. I think in the draft process that should be taken seriously as a running back. So we'll see what kind of opportunities he gets carrying the ball early in his career, and I think that will sort of dictate how he does for the rest of his rookie season, certainly the rest of his career, and whatever happens to Singletary if he misses any time due to injury. But Tracy's somebody I think could have a role in the passing game right away, and we'll see what happens should he get a little bit of a bigger role carrying the ball. For Vidal, it's a great destination landing spot, and can he have the chance to get carries right away? He's playing behind a 29-year-old Gus Edwards, a guy in J.K. Dobbins, who I think will be ahead of him on depth chart, coming off an Achilles injury. Long term, he may end up being the guy there for the Chargers, and we know if the coaching staff stays there as long as expected, based on the contract that Jim Harbaugh signed and Greg Roman stays, that's going to be a very run-heavy offense. So dynasty managers are obviously excited about Vidal, and understandably so. And we'll see what he does in his rookie campaign. But a good player to stash on your bench, see whatever opportunity he gets moving forward. The veteran's Rico Dowdle, and we know this Cowboys running back situation right now is. I don't know if it's necessarily wide open, but Ezekiel Elliott coming back to the team after being away for a year. He's a year older. I believe he's 29 right now. Dowdle's somebody that's never really gotten the chance to prove himself, has had a hard time staying healthy. But if he does get that chance and he does prove to be the lead running back in Dallas, that could just be a huge steal for fantasy managers where you're picking him. We'll see how his ADP continues to climb, especially what happens in training camp and any preseason action that those guys may see. But obviously, Zeke, if he is just completely washed up, then Dowdle can take that job and hopefully run away with it.
This is such a great year, I think, for handcuff running backs. There's just so many. I don't know if I don't usually feel this way. I'm usually kind of anti-handcuff running backs. I think there's a lot of wasted roster spots because you think these guys are going to be the guy, and then they end up, not doing nearly what you thought. But I see paths to success if there is an injury. First of all, Tajay Spears is going outside the top 100. We think that's ridiculous. But Trey Benson, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford with Nick Chubb still having no timetable.
Yeah.
Blake Corum. Maybe some of these guys have zero value at first, but huge potential if there's an injury. Zach Charbonnet, I mean, we already saw what that looked like. I just think this is a really good year to take a shot on some of these guys, Jamie, after pick 100.
Yeah, I'm curious, because you used the phrase handcuff, and it's a good philosophical discussion on, do you target your own handcuff or do you target somebody else's handcuff? And I think it comes down to how much faith you have in the guy that you draft. So you had a situation in our magazine draft where your top two running backs were Christian McCaffrey and Joe Mixon, and you drafted Elijah Mitchell and Damian Pierce. And I asked you about that, not to give away our entire magazine, which we seem to be doing, but what was your philosophy behind that? And you just said it. You're not typically a handcuff guy, but you felt like these were two situations. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but these are two situations that you wanted to have their backup. For me, in that same draft, I drafted Derrick Henry and Najee Harris. Because of the way the draft unfolded, I was trying to get Jaylen Warren just because I think that's a good backfield based on cost that you can get, and I was not able to. I really wasn't interested in drafting the Ravens backfield. Now, Keaton Mitchell did go undrafted in this particular league, so I'll try and pick him up off waivers if I have the opportunity to. And I think Justin Hill is also available, so I can pick those guys up. But I did draft Vidal, I did draft Marshawn Lloyd, and I did draft Chase Brown. Those are the only running backs I have on this roster, two of which I'm very excited about. Lloyd, I just kind of want to see, if he has a role. But I'm typically more inclined to take other handcuffs as opposed to my own, unless, of course, the situation warrants it, where I know, like you explained, and again, I'll give you the floor for the last 30 seconds. If the starter goes down, how much do you value that backup to be a potential start?
Yeah, I mean, the handcuffing McCaffrey made sense, but Mitchell with Damian Pierce, he was my last pick before my kicker and defense. I think Pierce is going to have a little bit more of a role than a traditional handcuff, potentially. But I think they're going to try to give him a role. I usually handcuff my own guys if it's all even, but obviously you just take the better handcuff. Take the one that you think if they get hurt, if the starter gets hurt, this guy has more potential. Like I would take Charbonnet over Damian Pierce, even if I had Mixon, for example. That's
There's
it.
more. I'll just say quickly. There's more upside to taking somebody else's handcuff because if your guy stays healthy, and that other player's starter gets hurt, then you have
Yeah.
two hopefully league winners.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Jamie. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Fantasy Football Today in 5.